Hello, we're going to look at a few of the setups that I'm currently looking at on the daily chart as always. Or actually I use the daily chart mostly. Sometimes I use the weekly chart. I think we have one setup here which is on the weekly chart. But yeah, we're still waiting for them to set up. So we have to be patient. Let's go to the charts. Okay, the first one is AUD CAD. The strategy is very simple. Here we have support, resistance when price came up. It was resistance. Here it was resistance when price came up, and then it became support. And I think if price goes down to the red line again, then this is going to be support and we can go for a 1-to-1. And that's about, that's literally it. That's what I do with all of my setups. Give it some space. Go for a 1-to-1. Something like this. Maybe a little bit more. Let's say so that's literally it. I wait for it for the alert. I set an alert here. I create an alert. I have it on my phone as well. So when the alert goes off, then I know it's starting to get ready to take the setup. I don't immediately enter when it hits the line. I usually go down to the actually you can go down to the 1 hour, or you can just see on the daily chart that when it starts to create a wick like this, because this is 1 day, it represents 1 day, when it comes down and it starts to create a wick, that's when you know it's about to come up again. Otherwise you could go to the 1 hour chart and see, like, okay, for example, if the price was down here, you can see it starts to slow down, and once you see it starts to go up, then you can enter the trade. The only reason I do this is because sometimes price just goes straight through it and shows no it doesn't show any weakness. It just goes straight through the zone. So anyway, I'll wait a little bit for the bounce, not too long, because you don't want the setup to go away from you. So yeah, basically it's very simple. You wait until it comes into the support level. In this case, I'm going to take it away. When it starts to bounce, that's when you enter. And that's all. That's literally the whole strategy. I have to also say that usually I don't let the trade go all the way to the stop loss. Maybe let's go back to the chart. Maybe I will stop it out here, like at 50%. Sometimes it hits the stop loss, but often I close it, 50% or 2/3 or 1/3 of the way. If I see that this zone don't hold and it starts to go, then I close it early. That makes this strategy work. And yeah, anyway, so I almost always do that. And it's very simple. This strategy is very simple. You just have to be patient, and you have to actually wait for it to come all the way down to your zone. Same thing here, GBP AUD. You can see in the past it has rejected here. Here it acted as support, and here again it acted as resistance. Came all the way down here I think if price comes up here, we're going to do the same thing, go for a 1-to-1 risk to reward and enter a sell here. And yeah, basically the same thing, but you have to wait. So I can put an alert here as well. Actually, I'm not going to do all of that now. Or why not? I put the alert a little bit before, just so I have time to go to the chart. That's the beauty of this strategy, is that you don't have to do it straight away. It's not like a scalping strategy. You actually have some time to do this stuff. Anyway, we go to the next one. AUD USD. You can see here it have been resistance. Again, resistance many times here. It broke above. Now it became support. Again, it became support. I think if it goes a little bit deeper, it was almost hitting the alert here the other day, or actually today. But I'm not doing anything unless it hits the alert. Once more, GBP USD, same thing. Resistance, kind of resistance, support, resistance, not really, support. This is a zone where price tends to react. So again, if it is the red line, I'm going to enter a short position. And the trades doesn't always work out, which is fine in the long run, as long as you don't risk too much. As long as you don't risk too much of your account, you will have more wins than you have losses. And when you have losses, then you cut them short. So you cut them maybe at 30% towards the stop loss, or 50%. Sometimes maybe it hits the stop loss, but most of the time it either hits the profit target or you cut it short, the stop loss. So again, GBP USD, Euro GBP, you can see here this is a very strong zone. It's happened many times in the past. Here, support. I think if price goes down here, we go for a 1-to-1 and buy Euro GBP. Euro AUD, this is actually a weekly zone. The weekly is even stronger than the daily. But yeah, you can see here, support. One candle here represent 1 week. This is when price came up, it was resistance. So if price comes down here, then I'm going to enter a long position or a buying position for a 1-to-1 risk to reward. So yeah, literally it's very simple. You just have to be patient and wait for the setups to come to you. Don't try to chase them. Actually wait for them to hit your alerts. When it hits the alert, then you wait for just a small rejection, not too much, but just a little bit. And that's when you can enter the 1-to-1 trade. The beauty of this strategy is that you don't actually have to sit in front of the charts all the time. You wait for the alerts, and when the time is right, then you can go to your computer, you can look at the setup properly, and then you can make a decision whether or not you think it's a good thing to enter a trade. You have time to actually think about it, and you have time to actually enter the trade without it. You know, a scalping strategy, you have to sit in front of the computer all the time, and you have to be super stressed about whether or not it comes yeah, whether or not it's gonna work out. Of course, swing strategy, you don't know if it's gonna work out or not, but it's you have more time to actually think about it. The most important thing is that you don't risk too much. I would start with a demo account. On the demo account, I would have the same amount of money that I would if I were to trade with real money with a private account. So for me, I mean, I shouldn't recommend anything because I'm not I'm not allowed to recommend anything, but you have to have some good amount of capital to actually make some money with this strategy or with any trading strategy, unless you are a funded trader. So let's say if you have $10,000 and you risk maybe 5% per trade, or actually that's what I do, 5% until 10%. A lot of people say it's way too much. So this is not a recommendation. I'm just saying what I am doing because I know this strategy works. Anyway, make sure that you risk the same percent of your account in every trade, and that you are consistent doing the same thing over a longer period of time. I will also journal the trades, the wins and the losses and the profit, so we can see which weeks and which months are profitable. So you actually have some stats to know whether or not you're profitable. Because you can have winning, or you can have a 50% win rate. Most people would think that you're a break-even trader then. But the reality is that here we often stop the trades maybe half the way towards the stop, or maybe 2/3 towards the stop, or 25% towards the stop. So in reality, if you were to do that and you had a 50% win rate, then you would be profitable. And to be honest, that's what most traders do, even if it looks like on the internet that you you only have wins all the time. That's not really the reality of trading. It's just looks good on the screen. It looks good on the YouTube thumbnails and stuff like that. At the end of the day, you don't really care about the thumbnails. You care about winning in trading and actually become free. So yeah, anyway, I keep on rambling on, but I hope this video was useful, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.